NaVi have to fight to the finish here. One more game to go here in the Pro League for tonight. And actually, you know what? It has been a bit of a bumpy ride for the CIS team. We did not expect to see HellRaisers doing what they did on Train. A convincing win for the boys from, well, I was going to say, well, the Raisers of Hell. Let's go with that. I've got myself Sadakist and Spun J.
It's funny, we used
me.
ACDC in our trailer today.
Banana. I know it was this guy who walked through the door. That's a spoiler for the video.
He's a freaking rock star.
With my UK teeth.
Absolutely is. Okay.
All right.
Topical.
If you draw attention to yourself, Chad, you're only going to make it worse.
Okay.
That's it. Life lessons here on the desk. But map 2 is Cobblestone. And actually, we're going to have to start with you, Chad, because you framed this picture in our pre-show. You said, Train, a little too much for them to handle. For HellRaisers, of course, we proved not to. But you were also, your point was that Cobble looked better for HellRaisers. It looked like their best map in their pool right now. And you can't help but start siding now with HellRaisers, right?
I like Dead Fox. I think he's brought a lot of life to this team.
This is the thing that I'm looking at right now, and I'm going, let's just, with all these teams that seem to be struggling, get 3 players who are fresh and they're an up-and-coming young talent who are keen as mustard for this thing. Keep the backbone of the team, 2 guys, maybe the in-game leader, you know, keep the people with structure. Make a team like that, because these young kids are nuts. They're the players getting it done. Dead Fox, Electronics, and Flipside, they just beat Virtus Pro on the B stream.
I was hoping we could
Disco
just quickly
Doplin.
Yeah, exactly.
Big old Doppo.
I'd love to just quickly touch on that just for a second. So on the secondary stream, which you'll be able to find, you can just go ahead and add a B to the stream you're watching now. And it was, what was it? It was 16-3?
No, 5.
16-5, Flipside VP, and on Cobblestone, no less.
Yeah.
Okay, and bearing in mind, Cobblestone was the map that Virtus Pro 16-3'd NaVi on recently.
Yeah.
So we have no idea what's going on in the world of CS right now. It is highly,
That's why I just played H1Z1.
Toxic.
It's not toxic, it's unpredictable.
Yeah. It's insane.
That's a good thing.
Unbelievable.
Predictability sucks.
No, because it makes it hard. So? My job is so difficult now.
I don't think your job should be hard.
No, but I have to sit here and I have to give people, you know, all the information, and I give them information that's wrong.
The thing is, if we're going to have saturation, and if we're going to have saturation that's predictable, it's going to be the same thing over and over and over again. No one likes to watch Mercedes win every single race. I'll tell you that right now. I certainly don't.
Okay.
So let's at least have different winners if we're going to have a lot of races.
But do you not think that the fact that you can go 16-3 versus one team and then tomorrow you 16-3 them, that's not so much, that's a weird...
That's a little different. If it's one-sided stomps, then that's teams not showing up on the day. But if we're getting, like, you know, 16-7s and then 16-11s...
And then it comes down to pistols, it comes down to that one round. I appreciate that.
That I'm okay with.
Okay.
Yeah, 16-3 to 3-16, that's a little different. That's something else.
Yeah, and that's something that's going on right now with NaVi. If you have just joined us, I'll let Sadakist set the scene and what's been going on with NaVi recently.
got bodied, and that's that.
But over the last like 2 weeks,
well, okay, so it's basically, all right, I'll play ball with you. Basically, since they put Simple onto the secondary AWP, they've been messing with the roles, and obviously it was actually YNK that made up a really good point, in that doing that, a lot of the sites that he played was with Seized already.
Yes.
So you're not going to have 2 ops there. So if you're going to bring the op onto Simple, then you're going to have to rotate Seized over, which means then basically you're changing all 5 positions, because now you're not only your duo on the B side of, you know, Flamey and Guardia, everything gets messed up. Everything gets shuffled. So they're really struggling to come to terms with it. Train is a map where traditionally they're quite good on. Cobblestone's one where they struggle on the CT side, but it's everywhere right now. That's a bit of a problem on their CT sides.
Everywhere is a problem, and now things get a little interesting. Before we throw the casters on your screen, a quick prediction. Now, I want to know your team names here, Chad, because you sided with NaVi on Train.
His team name was Vox Eminor and Renegades.
I appreciate that. Let's try again, though, for the prediction.
Okay, so HellRaisers won this map 2 out of 3 times. They played it in Pro League, but yesterday, you know, I was on the NaVi train. Today, I felt, you know, they could take it, but I'm going to go with HellRaisers. I'm going to go with the baseless prediction like Matt.
He's going for the baseless. Beautiful. Okay, so it seems like the desk is going HellRaisers' way, and now the casters are going to go ahead and guide you through. It's Cobblestone. God knows what's going to happen. Maybe the casters do. It's Pansy and Uber.
Oh, well, not really, no, let's be honest. I mean, Virtus Pro already, I think you already pointed it out, Alex, on the desk. Virtus Pro already smashed them. And since then, or prior to that, NaVi didn't really play much Cobblestone. They used to be called the Custom Kings, but since Cobble's sort of been around, well, at least lately for NaVi, not been good at all here. Map record actually better for HellRaisers. I mean, at least they won more than they've lost.
So the thing is, the Penta almost beat NaVi. That was the overtime game. Fnatic beat NaVi here. And that was E-League. Yeah. But the last 2 that have been kind of scary sort of moments, the Penta was the OT game, the 19-17 that NaVi eventually won, and then 16-3, which obviously NaVi lost. And the thing we noticed was the switch up that Edward's now kind of playing over towards A a little bit more, trying to, well, that was at least in the Penta game. He was trying to play with Guardian on that side, leave Simple to play on towards B. And this is actually a very good map for HellRaisers objectively. If you look at it, you know, from the terms of what they are expected to achieve, they've beaten Virtus Pro and they beat Penta. So again, they've beaten the 2 teams that just managed to either get close games or almost beat Na'Vi. So again, this is going to be an interesting matchup, but already HellRaisers is going to go for this big hit towards A. 3 players, though, are waiting for Na'Vi, and Guardian being one of them in a fantastic angle. No one split up long at the right time, allowed him to get away with murder here. Angel's trying to make up for the deficit, but it might be a little bit too late now.
There's a much cleaner pistol here. So far for Na'Vi, I was going to say that, but all right. Okay, Angel picks up Guardian there as well. He has had himself just the 1 kill for the round. It was Sticko doing a lot on the backside. So picking up a USP here. It's only got 15 bullets in there, so keep an eye on that counter because he's expending a few of these now, and hopefully Angel's aware of that one. 1 clip left, bomb out in the open. Na'Vi, no real reason to face him right now, aside from keeping tabs on him there. Oh, Angel's playing a dangerous game here. I think he might struggle a little bit. A sign of intent, at least, for Na'Vi early on in this round. A player at Stables was Guardian. So many times we see that not checked on pistol rounds. So many times USP players on the CT side can actually do a lot of work from there, but Angel is now just swatting at flies, essentially. He's down to 3 health, so Na'Vi have done a good job.
It takes one hit. He's got 1 bullet left, and there it goes. Simple as that. It can happen. Don't try him out just yet. But for me, Guardian being able to get away with that was just purely because they did. I think it was like a 4-1, like 4 players up mid and then 1 late through long. Maybe just playing towards the bomb plant position if they got it down. But it does allow Guardian to do that sort of thing, which is it's great for him. It's a risk that you take, but it worked out well. So we're going to see the full SMG buy-up. 0 rifles coming out, so all UMPs bar 1 P90 with Simple. That could be for platform, maybe expecting a straight rush to it, maybe in drop, both very viable. This map actually does allow for some, I guess, unique air quotes happening weaponry. We see the UMP being able to be purchased throughout. Flusher an advocate for it towards drop. We've seen people like Barbar recently during that Gfinity Invitational also looking towards it. It builds up money and it's playable. But the problem being now Guardian could get outdone, but Angels, it's all about timing on the angle here. Guardian's going to back off from that, and here comes the rush. Actually, Bondic wins it out. That's troublesome. Angel actually found Guardian on long as well. This is an A pinch. It's about to come in, and it's looking good. The only man who can really stop it now, it's Edward. He has to do it all.
Well, flash out for Edward, has himself a UMP, but not always great at range, especially not even against pistols. 18 health now for the man, having to just back away awfully fast here. Simple can shred at least up close here with the P90, but that's going to be an issue as he starts to get himself out of this middle room. Now he's being picked away at by these pistols being brought up, and Bonnick has himself a UMP, and this is just a dead end, really, for Simple. He needs to go through this one player, gets Dead Fox. You better hope he does, but with only 8 bullets left now, and needs to hope that these ring true. The reload's not going to be pretty.
And no kit as well. Edward's already gone. He's out of there. It was great that Simple was trying to fight it out, but it was like, no, I'm good. But what a beginning. The 2 big kills for me was the one that Guardian lost out on over by long. That happening, that little exchange, meant that A was incredibly vulnerable. Edward was then pinched in because at that point, drop was being pressured. So it was actually just 2 things going really well for HellRaisers, where those Tech 9s can really flourish, that equated in everyone else from Na'Vi being basically negated throughout the map.
Because in that context for Guardian, his positioning actually probably wasn't as dangerous as he thought it was. Now, he didn't know that there wasn't anyone pinching him through from danger, right? Which is often the way you see that more forward player on A-long get taken down, but he still sort of backs away anyway after the fact, and then is caught, presumably with his back turned to Angel as he barrels around the corner of the Tech 9.
Purely just timing based, and this is a really nice read possibly from Na'Vi, putting a lot of players towards A. Now, this is something they've done before. This is not a new thing for Na'Vi, just kind of stacking out A-long a little bit here. And it looks like Guardian's just trying to bait them in almost, like, hey guys, I've only got a scout, come and try and face me. And that plays in Edward. Plays him actually very well. He couldn't follow up towards Bondic, and Guardian tried to swing out on it, but the timing just didn't work out. Already Bondic was aware that maybe someone's going to try and play that. Guardian was still a factor then, and they found Flamey. So every little kind of, I guess, sprung trap is now apparent. It's all been seen. So Na'Vi's down to 2, but Simple's got a Deagle, he's got a P250 with C's, but he's just not getting anything done with it.
Not at all. Now Simple on his own here. We'll probably look to try and test, but Smoke is going to be annoying. It's going to be up in his way. Now maybe over towards Juliet here. Peek over the balcony, sees a Molotov hit towards the site. So Simple has very few avenues of approach into this situation. It's 4 players to deal with. There's an AK, there's a P90, there's a UMP, and there's a 5.7 between them, and still some scattered utility to work with. So Simple's just going to get hammered here. Needs to hope for one of those big moments, and they're not really things you sort of sit back and rely on here. So the fact that Na'Vi are in this position is already bad enough as it is. That P90, that Simple's pass coming back to Horn, and that's the one he dropped in the previous round. So Sticko cleans him up there, and HellRaisers move out to 2-1.
And it's good money now. They're in a good position. They can sit there on these weapons because they know that Na'Vi's not going to be able to buy much. However, we did see Na'Vi actually pull off an eco. That's one thing, I guess, from Train, but it's not. It's
just the one that had to do so many, you know.
So we actually saw a little bit of an upgrade. So we got the 2 rifles, Dead Fox and Zero, going to go towards those quite early on. perfectly fine. If that's what you're going to do, just kind of bolster it out. Why not? It means that if they do get dropped out, you can always recover them, put them into the hands of the players with the SMGs. So again, likes of Angel, Bondic, and Sticker will probably be first in. And that could be quite troublesome, considering the amount of presence. How long though, it's going to be the flash play in, but it's met with just an absolute foray of bullets coming from HellRaisers. Bondic, Sticko, and Bondic again to find Flamey. So a good start for them. And NaVi, well, it was a gamble. It was a bit of a, just see if it works, and why not?
Yeah, I mean, like... They stack correctly, but you can't really stack defensively easily in that part of the map. It's very, very hard to do, so they have to kind of go for something. If they're going to be there, there needs to be sort of a reason for it. So it doesn't really work out for the middle. Now Guardian Simple, just nothing to work with here as well. Another clean eco from NaVi. Simple's going to wrap around the backside here, very, well, awfully slowly. Might be able to catch Zero off there. That's a possibility. That would be an AK handed over, but Simple doesn't even really expect to see him here. There it is. Shot comes in. Two is going to be enough.
That's recoverable. That's
Go to Rapunzel with this one.
Look how quickly as well HellRaisers is trying to get back, because they know that's what he's going to try and do. Now he's in trouble, though. He can't just quickly make his escape. He does get caught. And if they can make... Ooh, they might have actually just pushed that even
knocked the gun
away.
Yeah.
He didn't get it back. I can see on mine. Only Dead Fox has his rifle still. It's not a huge problem. They've got 10k on Sticko and Bondic, so they're okay. They can do what they want on this. They can go for the cheeky round. Yeah, they can go for the Jaden round, that no one wants to call it that, but they can stay on the SMGs a little longer than they have to at this point, just to build up banks. So you could get Sticko maybe playing towards Drop or Angel, just, you know, expendable people almost at this point, but you want to keep them in play, of course, as long as they're viable. But Guardian's got the orb, which is a big factor now. He even spotted one out at A, but look at the initial aggression. This is big, actually. NaVi really trying to get into their faces here, and Flamey takes a bit of damage.
Zero's used all of his utility here, so he's thrown 4 grenades of different varieties just to try and maybe just keep NaVi here for the moment, and that's fine, but eventually they're going to get wise to this and make the move elsewhere on the map. They still have Guardian to use as a backstop here in this situation when HellRaisers do start to push out from middle, but 3 players have essentially committed themselves onto this B side. Now that might change, though. Flashes come in, A is going to be pushed.
I was going to say Guardian could have got himself towards Juliet there on the top ledge of the kind of balcony, but he's actually going to take the straight-up fight. There's not that many people coming along anyway, so this is maybe arguably better, but far more dangerous. But it's Zero just tearing through this round already. Flamey's gone down, trying to avenge Guardian. It just didn't work out. It's a 3v2. Simple's going to use the smoke, find an angle that he can work with, and he does. Angel falls. He gets the man on the site, and what a retake. Quick as you like, right in their faces. They don't even have a kit to put it off, but they can get the orb. They can get back in good position, and that's what C's should be looking for right about now.
Oh, what a massive hole the HellRaisers left there in their afterplant situation. The fact that Simple can come through from that vent room, just turn around as a player with his back to him, and then kill the player on the site instantly, because of course there's not enough time to respond to that kind of thing. So HellRaisers, I mean, the execution pushing on towards the site was good, but the afterplant was sloppy, and that was just the window that Simple needed to break in here. And you're right, Orb back, go over towards Guardian, arguably, and have an AK even into this round, and I can sort of go for some tier 2 rifles around it or something similar. Maybe Simple can buy up a bit more, so not terrible here. And that's what NaVi needed, no doubt about it. I mean, Flamey jumping out of Juliet at speed with a rifle, not ideal. I mean, it's a Crystal try and do that multiple times last night. It doesn't really work, but hey, I managed to get the round anyway.
If you haven't done it already, guys, just go look at Zeus's Twitter.
Tweet? Oh,
just have a little peek. Just take what you will out of it. Let's get back to the game here, because Dead Fox is already looking to unravel NaVi. Now, the double ops are out to play, so this is actually a nice read or just a nice intuition.
Oh, I love that.
But that's the wall
That's
bang
the lineup.
we knew that Simple had from the first time they started to play towards this B site. The game against Penta, it never really got used then, but what a huge bit of impact with absolutely no risk to it, considering no one was close enough to even chase him down.
He actually lines that up as well. We didn't see it on camera, but last time I saw him try to do it, he literally like walks up to it slowly and sort of tries to line his barrel up. There was some other feature of the map. I don't know what it is personally, but yeah, it works out. So Simple already cuts HellRaisers a little bit thin, and dude, an early AWP from the CT side towards that B platform is really, really nice at stunting that T side aggression. You might get a bit of info if you get aggressive, you know, over towards the actual platform itself, but you often get cut down. So this is fine. NaVi get the kill. They know someone was there at least, and that says a lot.
Now, 4 on 5, if you're HellRaisers, you should have a plan. There should be a way that you feel you can get back in this round. But the problem is, NaVi has so many players here. They're going to need a huge performance from someone to even get a chance back into this round. Bondic at least opened up some avenue of play towards maybe hitting B, but look how many players there are for NaVi still. And the bomb's not in a good spot. Flamey should be able to land that shot every day of the week, but Sticko's not going to go down too comfortably here. 20 seconds, though. They're running out of time.
Flamey had such a big window to take that shot onto Sticko. I know he was moving, so I'm not going to talk about the mechanical side of that one, but Sticko just got a huge opening, a huge step towards this site. Now, Zero challenges out Guardian. He was trying to peek out there from drop room, and now Edward does get the bomb loose over on towards the site. Yep, 5 seconds left here, so we're going to have to see Zero just run at him. He can't. Zero pushes him. He gets up in his face. I mean, it's not a great place to try and hide and stay safe from, but sometimes you just got to go for it there, and Edward allowed that to happen.
Pause comes in. Technical issue. It's always going to be a technical one.
That's because Simple's headset's broken.
The smash on the desk already coming through.
Someone's got keycap marks on the side of their face, you know.
Now, to be fair, Navi's money is absolutely dire. They're into 1.5.
It's dog turd, Lauren. It's dog turd.
It is. It's kind of double eco territory. It's not. It's
not
nice.
Under 2K, 1,500, 1,600.
But it means we can talk about Zeus's tweet.
That was pretty nice.
It's a spicy tweet.
And
to be fair, Zeus is a little memester. You know what I mean? Like, he's a proper memester.
I enjoyed his holiday photos as well. They're quite funny. So, hey guys, you might have cut me from the team, but I'm grabbing some random girl's ass on the beach here. What up? It's like an Australian football player, you know.
I was about to say, it's all about the arse grabbing today, apparently.
Well, sometimes it's motivation, so it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah. Okay.
If you ever, if I ever am sat at the desk and looking a bit down, Lauren, now you know.
I'll let the guys know that they can just do that to you at any point, and it will just get you ready for the rest of it.
Deeper the better.
Christ almighty. I do you know what? I went away for a weekend and I felt like a normal human being, and now I come back to this. It's a unique place to be. It's like I find solace in Twitch chat rather than my co-workers. It's a sorry state of affairs, isn't it, Mitch?
Well, that's your choice, Lauren. That's all I'm saying. When I first got here to Cologne, I was bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. I had my apple for teacher and my sharper pencil. And then, first Joe Miller walks in the office at 11 a.m. So that just changes your expectations straight away. And then this whirlwind called Lauren walks in. It's dark in the office, no lights on. She's still wearing her sunnies, has her cup of coffee. Help. Goes and sits down. All right, then. I guess I've made the big time now, boys. I'm casting esports. I'm sat here. And this is what I've got to deal with. So, I honestly got no one to blame but yourself, really.
Thanks, Mitch.
I
feel good about that. Yeah. All right, Angel. It's time to farm. Let's see what you got. Where's that SMG going? Oh, you're boring. It's purely to kill Guardian or Edward. Snoozy. HellRaisers, though. Everyone else looking towards B for now. It is actually a 4-play stack from NaVi.
Oh, hello.
That's what you get for getting excited. It was like when you first got to Cologne, you got all excited, and then Angel still wrecked it.
It's about random time to climax for me anyway. This is fine. 3 players, though. US piece. There's a flash there for Edward, though. That's something. Something more.
Do you believe? Because I don't.
Absolutely not.
No.
No, I mean, I don't know.
Edward
maybe another time. Another time, maybe.
I'm not even gonna lie. I miss when Edward was just nuts on the pistol. Like, you know how Dennis kind of like holds the big title now? Edward used to be so good at it. Like, it'd be so awesome to see him go back to that. But that aside, HellRaisers with a really good beginning. Money's great for them. Perfect position for that. Guardian's going towards the AWP. There has to go glass cannon for it. No one else can really buy much. Like, this is a really...
Yeah,
what is Simple going to get?
They defy the double eco.
Literally, oh, okay. I thought he was just going to get the USPS. I was like, are you good, Simple? Like, okay. He's gone for the armor and the scout.
Do you rather see double eco here than this utter lack of utility?
I don't know what they're planning to do. I think they just want to challenge out on platform. Like, they want to get some map control, it feels like. I don't know, though. It's not been successful. That's the biggest problem to me. We've been seeing these guys expect this from HellRaisers. They've been playing pretty well to counter it or play around it. However, new round, not a good buy for NaVi, but there's still elements that can come together for it. At the moment, the bomb's still over by B, so there's no massive commitment yet. They have put players towards A long, one towards danger, but a very passive hold from NaVi. They can't really challenge out fallback, put the utility in place, so they have to be very careful with how they approach this round because they don't have that fallback.
Yeah, margin for error. I mean, given where the money is at the moment, all their margins have been cut very, very short here, but Flamey may have had an opportunity to find something earlier on the round. That's pretty good from Edward. So Angel was just on the lurk there at A, and it looks like NaVi knew that straight away, seeing no one following up, no utility to follow that up, no attempt at a trade after seeing Angel go down. NaVi's been able to now just switch the positioning back over towards his B side, should I say. Now, a late execute coming in with sufficient utility to back it up here. There's still 3 smokes at play, or at least potentially at play for HellRaisers. So they can make something of this, but yeah, man advantage. They need to take advantage of the fact that there's a scout and there's a Famis in the game and really just get aggressive. But Edward's got a good spot here. Or he could just get absolutely smashed. Look, that was shot through the wall there.
Yeah,
I like it, Bondic.
It was right on the corner of it. Flamey, though, can be the rock that we know he can be, but only for one. Leaves Simple now in a bit of a predicament. Again, he's not exactly having a great time connecting towards Zero. He's taking him low, but...
Bondic.
Yeah, it was a bit of an awkward position play out drop. And still, he's down to Dead Fox in the end, and he can't do much with it. So actually, NaVi, considering the very poor buy they're on, they do make it work. And I think HellRaisers just kind of left it too long to make the play happen. They lost out on one man, and they were just like, yeah, we need to go. But by that point, NaVi had already got into some nice positions. They weren't too fast. They never got worked down. Their lack of utility never got really pressured. But their money's still not good. It's still so low down. At this point, they've been broken enough times. So you can see the UMP still was seized. Fine enough for places like Drop, as said. But, you know, you're still not got your proper M4s here. So HellRaisers do have more of an arsenal to bring to this and actually be able to hopefully challenge down NaVi here.
I'd love to know what Zero did to Bondic in that last round to kill him in that way. I think he was still healthy enough pushing forward. But, I mean, that's by the by. Simple getting up close here. Going to try and, you know, use that FAMAS as accurately as he can. Needs to hit heads here, obviously. I think that kind of goes without saying. But now, well, it doesn't hit the head, and Bondic gets him. There you go. That's mat-level analysis. But Flamey now just trying to dance around a statue. Gets himself one, but eventually he's cut down. So this is going much better here for HellRaisers. A bit more intent on towards this side, but Steve's is in a position potentially to derail there. Sticko actually fell to Edward's nade. So this does put in a 2v1 situation, but Edward can't salvage. And HellRaisers break it straight back, just as NaVi learning how to walk, they're being put back to crawling.
Yeah, it's like they win around, lose around, and now look at the money. This is the harshness of the CT side. If you don't string together rounds, if you don't just lose them all, you know what I mean? It's like you've got to be at the extremes. You can't just sit there and dance in the middle. You're going to be absolutely crippled for money. It's horrific. They are ecoing out, apart from one Deagle with Simple, and he's not having a big game yet on towards B. I'm kind of hoping we get to see a little bit more from him, you know, once they actually get some money to play with, because at the moment it's been shambolic throughout. But Angel, a nice little spot here looking for the... You saw him. You 100% saw him, so that will show up on the radar. And if he's been told that after, he's like, he was that long? Okay. But there's got to be some caution here with HellRaisers. You don't want to give up these guns towards the pistols, but you also don't want to be too kind of lackluster that you get picked up. So find the right balance for them. Bondic needs to be careful here. Again, trying to X out. Edward's waiting. That's the Edward we want to see. Finding Bondic there, but now he's all alone.
So it's still the Edward we've been seeing, unfortunately, as he gets maybe one kill towards the end of the round, but that's all he can manage. Much better from Dead Fox there. That was really nice. He controlled from B platform. He knew that it was probably coming into a NaVi that didn't have a lot to work with, so just set himself up there. Obviously, the smoke to get into the box. And then just a couple peeks out, and the shots were coming in. Can't really complain about that one. Yeah, a bit of an eco bash as it was, but oh, NaVi, that's not pretty at all. They have just had the worst economic game so far. Now, back to this. Oh, God. I mean, we'll call it a pistol force for the sake of argument, but it's not pretty.
So I remember talking to teams before they played NaVi, and I remember the discussion being is if we can keep their economy low enough, the Guardian can't get the AWP, we stand a chance. It wasn't like there wasn't anything beyond that at the discussion point, but it literally was just like if we can keep them just off that, we actually have something to do in this. If he got this was back when he was in that massive, ridiculous form. Not the case here, and I actually like that play on long, just to push together, get the job done, but they have to fall back from it, so they haven't even recovered the gun. They've just kind of finally got hold of, because HellRaisers have just hit full throttle. They're going straight on towards A, but now they're surrounded from all fronts. HellRaisers have to be watching everything as they go towards this.
Yeah, I mean, so far so good. That smoke towards A long sort of screens NaVi out. You can see a player, Edward's still trapped there, but Simple gets the deagle done. Now, well, doesn't really have many options here. He gets up close and personal. Sees is going to be the one, though, with the CZ. The double stack inside that room is working really well, and NaVi actually winning out some of these eco rounds. These pistol forces are actually coming to fruition, and now Sticko lucky to get that kill without taking any damage, but Seized coming over the top with the CZ. Got to bring back NaVi another one. That would be 50% of the rounds that NaVi's won in this game, this map so far, have been from pistol forces or crappy eco situations.
They're just letting them win so they can reset them afterwards. Like, that's the game plan. To be fair to NaVi, now they will have good money, at least in this one, so they can share them off and they can get as many AWPs as they want. If they go straight towards a double AWP...
no.
Oh, wait, so Simple's taking it over Guardian. Guardian's not got... He's got enough money to do what he wanted. Simple's just going for it. Okay, so maybe they feel the double AWP's not the factor, and Simple's going to be the one to just pick this up. He didn't have a better spawn than the Guardian, so it's just purely like how they want to do this.
Let you have this AWP at B as well.
Yeah. Maybe they feel that they're just not having the presence with the AWP on A that they want to, and then the retakes, it's not working out. To be fair to HellRaisers, they have been hitting that B side a lot on their buy rounds, so it does make sense if they want that there for that reason. Again, though, you've got to be careful. If HellRaisers get wind of this, if they spot something out, they get a bit of information off the back of it, you could see them switch something up.
An early three-man stack for HellRaisers on towards A long, just in case we saw the kind of hijinks that we saw last round with the double 5-7 peak. But Guardian now doesn't know about this. Can't really see anything to give it away. Now he sees the flash come in. So we can turn that, but he's going to get pinched on here by Danger. So even if Bonnick didn't get that kill, there was going to be Angel there to get him. So Edward now, decent situation there. He didn't commit too hard towards A-Long, just wait for the play to come around the side.
And no one's actually worked up middle yet either, so even better. So for HellRaisers, they've got really tricky choices at hand. They've got 56 seconds to make something happen. Now, they do still have the AWP in hand with Dead Fox. He's still got room to play, and Edward,
that
why?
was a bit weird. That was a bit strange.
I know that you're not at a massive advantage when you're 4v4, but just walking into off the back of the flash, it's frustrating to see. Of course, we get to see the whole picture. We get to see everything. We get X-ray. We get, the minimap. We get everything in it, to tell us the picture that's in front of us. But for me now, you've opened up a huge advantage for NaVi. It was such I don't think the risk was worth. Sorry, the reward was worth the risk there, because now, well, B is completely vacant of players.
Oh, they've got him here. I reckon they might have them. I mean, with Dead Fox's sticker now, they can actually push on towards the B side. They've got 17 seconds left, so the margin for error, again, is not really present. They need to go now, and they're not really sure still about what's happening at B. They're going to go anyway. Molotovs being used. These are all null and void, essentially, as no one from NaVi is actually here. The smoke goes down. Dead Fox going to opt to plant through there as well and give it a good hold position from Spack and Cooper up on that platform as well. Bondic now catching NaVi as they realise desperately they need to stream it on towards his B side and make something of this. Nice by C's, but Dead Fox with a good trading position right now towards the bomb. Flamey needs to go big here.
And I just don't see it happening. Call me
Pansy.
Christ. Pessimistic would be one of them, but Flamey, yeah, looking for chances aplenty, but he's been gifted very few, and now it's all out time, and that's something he certainly doesn't have. Dead Fox is just playing that timer like a champion, not showing, backing away constantly, using the sound. Look at it, ring a roses, round we go. Flamey, get wrecked. Dead Fox just pins him
Just
midair.
jam that up his nose. Okay. Well, it turns out the pessimist Pansy wasn't the negative Nancy that we were fearing. She was quite right there. Even though it went to a 1v1, there wasn't really much time to work with. 8-4 it is here for HellRaisers. This is looking to be playing out very similar as the first map. This time, though, it was HellRaisers actually starting on the T side and really racking the rounds up.
I told you, they're only letting them win rounds so they can reset them afterwards.
Oh,
now
the
look at
Nova.
The big Novas come out to play with Edward, so the deep smoke goes in towards platform, maybe going to allow the pick to come in from the AWP. They actually hit the players, so I guess that's something. Edward's done a
Get off.
big bit of damage. Get wrecked, Sticko. He's down to 98 now. But no, it was basically, oh man. I was thinking that smoke might be there just to allow people like Simple to make a bit of a peek off it, or go for that wall bang again. And he is actually on platform, so that works out. So at least they kind of get an angle on this one. Try and get some sort of control building. I wouldn't put it past Dead Fox to actually play this one out properly as well and actually get the job done. He's been doing quite nicely so far, but Simple does have the advantage of position. 1 minute and 10 left though. I don't know, NaVi just looks so lost in this.
That's putting it nicely. I have to see if they can find themselves here. Edward with the Nova as well. We'll see how he tries to employ that one. He's trying to play something towards A there as well. So a bit of a lighter presence on B. Now Flamey coming in to reinforce a little bit for NaVi here. C's has to play up close, but Simple using that up pretty well. Unfortunately, that's it. That's just it. Angel gets the trade. And now NaVi on this, messy buy, arguably. This time it's Guardian picking up the AWP after Simple dies. But, well, manages to increase Bonnick's podiatrist bill on the next visit. But that's going to be about it now with the bomb. Still yet to be planted, interestingly enough.
But I really like the boost that's come through as well, just in case. I just like the addition of more angles to check. They were discussing the verticality in other maps, and I love this as an addition towards Cbble. I think vertical element is always really quite enjoyable in very specific ways.
Verticality, yeah.
I get really fussy with map designers about this.
Rocket jumping, yeah. Wrong game, sorry. We don't make it? Oh, okay, no, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Yeah, all right, Guardian up on the A side.
Jeez.
Bomb's already planted at B.
Are you okay, Mitch? Like, what's happened in the last couple of days?
Oh, I had to cast a Chad.
Okay.
It just all came out. All the
Gotcha.
Aussies, and that's been repressed so far because I get judged. It's like, no, that's fine. He held me.
Let it go like Elsa.
Yeah. You better believe it. Guardian, you going to let one rip here? Is he going to be a rip snorter? No. He's going to get smacked on down there by 0. 9-4. Yes, history repeating itself. I mean, to be fair, our expectations of NaVi on a map like Cobblestone are not as high as Train, and already that has been disappointing. But this is... look at this. Look at its money. Look at his money. None. You're wrecked. They went for a weird buy. I don't think we saw one decent round after NaVi ecoed and they forced bought pistols. They won that round. They had like 6K. That has been the absolute pinnacle of their money so far. They're slumming it.
Yeah. HellRaisers are so in control of this so far, but it could change on the second half. But true to trend, NaVi's form so far on this map has not been great. Guardian's still finding a USPS
He's playing
skill.
really well on this part of the map still.
Like, Guardian is so good at playing where he does. At the moment, sure, he might not be able to pull off the huge retakes or the crazy moments, but he's holding his own. But the problem is that, as of late, these guys are not having a good time on this map. So it's not like they can go, well, we're like NV in a way that we can depend on our T-side on Cobble. Because NV are a great T-sided Cobble team that they can just really come in, bolster the numbers on that side, and then go through the motions on the CT side. We haven't seen NaVi doing that enough recently, at least to my taste, where it's like, well, it's it could be maybe 5-10 or something. That'd be fine. Like, for me, I want to see NaVi in control. They're playing HellRaisers. Put it into context. You can't just take one team out of context with the other. You've got to put it into, like, how we're watching this. And at the moment, HellRaisers are doing very well. However, this is beautifully done. If they actually start to play off the back of it, HellRaisers, they haven't been actually given much info, but again, at least NaVi has to try something. They do only have these pistols.
I mean, HellRaisers can't read this necessarily. They lost Angel early at A. So, yeah, I'm not really sure why HellRaisers sort of would have pressured that one anyway, but they're on B, so they're going to get the full side take. It's going to be NaVi having to retake here with just some pistols sort of assorted between them. They're literally nothing else but that. They played very sensible with their money game in this round, but this is slower for HellRaisers to get here. Bonding now going to have to recede. Now get the spray down.
Oh
No, close round. C's going to get to him, but still 4 health for him. Probably won't challenge too quickly, but there's Edward now. He can come in over the top, maybe get a bit of extra damage done. 0. No, it's the spray down. Gets himself 3 in total, and now it's a 2v2 though, but the bomb is down.
Cbbe's got some flashes here, but it's not the angles he was working from, and Sticko had the superior angle to watch him push out from it, and it will be kept in check. It was actually quite a dangerous round. Don't get me wrong, I think it was, who was it got surprised around the back? Was it Bondic then? You saw like the panic aim as they tried to like run around the back of the hall. It was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty.
The rush down, yeah.
It wasn't pretty, but they get the round win at the end of the day. And 10-4, if they get 11-4, I am thoroughly impressed, absolutely and utterly. And now Navi's money's still not perfect. No kit to be seen, no mollies, only 1 nade with C's, no AWPs. Yeah, well, they've only going double AWP every single time. And I feel like that reinvestment's been a bit much for me every single time. Haven't seen it really pulling through. So here we go, straight in, and Bondic just gonna be the bulldozer.
So
look at that, just creating vast opportunities now for HellRaisers. Nate doesn't really do as much as maybe it could have then if it dropped it a little shorter, but it doesn't matter. At this point, Bomb's going to be there, and look at this. Siege tries to make a play through the smoke, and it's all left down towards Edward. 1v4, flash to hand, put out of his misery by Angel, and 11-4 half so far is pretty condemning for Navi.
Navi running around like headless chooks there as well. You can see them trying to respond to this aggression that Bondic brought on towards the site. Reminds me of Rubino, actually, from Dignitas as well, just leaping over the B platform and getting things started off. And they seem to have the killer edge, the killer instinct. Navi, though, seems to always be trying to play some reactive CS and has not been paying off for them. Maybe that's some bad experiences from Navi earlier in the night where they tried to play proactive. Maybe a return to that strategy might help them here on this next half. We're going to find out after the break, though, ladies and gents. Don't go too far. Back in a couple. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the second half of Cobblestone, and the story has not gotten any better for NaVi so far. In the CIS Derby, it's been all about HellRaisers, and that's held up here into the second map. 11-4 at half here. 4 rounds for NaVi. They're in dire straits.
They are. They can certainly come back into this game. It's not completely impossible, but taking into account recent form, recent opponents, how they played in even just the last map, it's hard to find a way where that seems very, very likely. It seems it could happen, sure, but they just don't have their big players having those big moments. Now, their money was consistently in a bad, bad way on their CT side. It was completely broken. And they always seem to want to go for these double AWPs. They were constantly looking towards that rather than just going, okay, we may need to actually step away from that. And of all people, it was simple to take it over Guardian, the one time they had that singular AWP, really, that comes to my mind. But still, HellRaisers has got a huge amount to play with in this game in the form of so many rounds as a buffer. And thank you, Rush. You found toilets and a chicken. You really do bring the premium content that represents my casting.
Well, Simple also spending a lot of time around them. Just, you know, getting acquainted.
Yeah.
If things don't go well for NaVi, you might have to hire one just to live in the interim, you know. Nothing major, just Portaloo, just keep yourself out of the elements. It can get quite cold in that part of the world, but anyway, let's go back into this one, Lauren. Pistol time for NaVi. It's going to be Flamey, a bit of the raid boss action for him. Just one smoke for the entirety. So this is just going to be a hard hit contact play on towards B, but the bomb being left back a little bit. So let's see how this plays out. Not well.
No, I think that's, and this is what I was going to say.
That's the raid boss too. Wrecked.
Yeah, that's not good. So I was going to actually highlight this point, is that Sticko to me is one of the players who can make a big difference later into this game. From positions similar to this, and he's doing so much damage even without being able to see them. You can see the Tracer fire coming back through. Of course, the Glock has to kind of have that sort of side to it. But for me, where he's been playing right now is one of the power positions. We saw him absolutely shining before on this map when we first started to really pay attention towards him. Same with Zero as well. Actually, surprisingly, and Dead Fox wasn't one of the players actually having the big game in that one. It was those two. But still, into this one, NaVi are at a man deficit, but they can still find ways into this. They can go up long. They can still do this sort of play. Because going through middle, you're not really playing to the strengths of what the Glocks has, you know, in comparison to the USPS, even though we actually don't see that many USPSs. We've got Zero on just the P2K, as is Dead Fox, so kind of curious. Get wrecked.
Yeah, Simple, nice work there with the Glock coming in from middle. Angel, though, positioned well. Fire. Okay, then. His head gets taken clean off there at close range. Simple gets right up close and personal. And now, well, the ledger has just shifted a little bit more. NaVi with a bit of momentum coming forward. Edward finishing off Bond again. HellRaisers are falling one after another. He's going to be Zero on his own here. And he's not in position. I mean, often Zero is playing this role, lurking sort of late round action, but pistol round lurks on the CT side. No. Just no.
So for me, all simple that round. He created the opportunities. The kills weren't just him. There were others. I think he got 3 that round. But beyond that, it was more of the fact that he actually did the important ones that opened up the chances towards the sides. Otherwise, they've been kind of working very much uphill. So good stuff from him. And to be fair, hitting, you know, scoreboard, he's been doing okay. I'm looking at others. When did you last see Guardian not being at the very, you know, top end of NaVi at this point, or Flamey? It's strange seeing you more like Seized and Edward around that marker. Again, they are great players, but they're not normally your headliners. But at this point, we're gonna have HellRaisers up onto a little bit of a force-ish here. No one completely investing into it, but Angel just decimating Simple. Backs away, new angle. Guardian, you want to be careful on that, and he is. Backs away a little and readjusts. Keeps this one in check.
That's really nice, actually. Can buy some time here. Eventually, he's going to fall, but the rest of HellRaisers are on this side as well. They're going to get up close and personal with the pistols. Zero finds Guardian, wants a second. He's going to get it too. Edward falls. It's a headshot. It's all going wrong for NaVi right now. It's just going to be seized on his own, and very much so. Does have an AK, but that's not going to keep you warm in the cold night when you're lacking rounds and lacking wins. 12-5, and HellRaisers shut them down.
And that wasn't even a massive investment either for HellRaisers. They didn't have that much armor. They had Sticko and Zero on the armor, a little bit of, you know, a couple of upgraded P250s, a couple of Deagles. You know, it wasn't huge, and they still managed to put it off NaVi. What on earth? And Edward being killed like that it just makes me feel really bad internally. But wow, okay, well that's what it is now. This is the problem. NaVi's money again gets broken, and they're going to get flashbacks to that first half of never quite having that buy that they want to have. And for HellRaisers, here's the starting point. Here's the great moment you want. You just managed to pull one back. An additional bonus to what you've already got to work with. 12-5 now.
Someone in chat might disagree with me here as well, but when I think after winning the pistol round and winning that sort of next round, that's fundamentals. There's just like the stuff you must do. That's the must-haves, not the should-have. Sticko there as well. Obviously not very hard for him to spray down with the P90. Now Guardian left on his own with the UMP. That's going to be taken from his grasp eventually, I feel. And yes, Bondic more than happy to throw himself into the fire line for that one. So that one goes to by the wayside. Sticko gets 3 kills with the P90. Nice little bit of bank being built up here. And NaVi, can't say the same for them as well. They don't buy much into this round either. That's a diabolical situation here, really. You win the pistol, Simple does such a sick performance, and then you get mashed in the next.
I don't know what to say. Train, I'd kind of think a little unfortunate, you know. Okay, HellRaisers played a really good game on that. You had some big performances from certain players. Cbble, again, this is a really bad map pool for NaVi, for like recent NaVi, but I don't know what they've got as a strength here, because classically they're fine on these maps. All right, Angel's now in real trouble. Back away, Molly down, goes for the smoke first, actually. The flash comes through, and now he waits on the other side of it, and that's actually so well played. Bondic's nades have been nuts, by the way.
That was big. The double nade is real. And C's just gets absolutely shut down there as well. So nicely done by Bondic. Good response. I mean, that flash thrown by Angel, you know, in this game as well, if you're moving while throwing a grenade, you can get all sorts of very weird results from that, right? But that was a very rushed grenade, and he didn't even really need the smoke to keep him alive. That flash completely stopped NaVi, and then Bondic got involved from the other angle, and then Angel comes back in and gets a couple kills with the SMG at close range there because they had to push him through the smoke. So HellRaisers just baited NaVi into that one and completely wrecked them. So we are looking down the barrel of a 2-0 over 2 best-of-1s here between HellRaisers and NaVi. If I'd have told you that a couple of weeks ago, you would have laughed in my face, but this is the timeline we live in. This is a freaking gun round here for NaVi, and they've lost 2 already. Tilt at work.
And Guardian's just been completely nullified. 2 HP. If he was on an AWP, I'd still say, okay, there's still hope there, but not the case. This is looking like it's dire straits for NaVi, and I don't know what to say about this one. Seized and Guardian left alive, 2v4, no step towards the site, really. And this is absolutely appalling from them. And the problem is, well, I say problem, the benefit being now, if you're a HellRaisers fan, you've got 0 in this spot. Now, he absolutely shone against people like Fnatic not too long ago in this sort of position when they didn't have the mollies, they couldn't afford it. Again, really building on the economy they can work towards. And we're going to see this played in here. Smoke goes up.
Again, late round, no mollies. Why not? Zero still wants to move a little bit there. They should stay in his position. I mean, we often see him in this spot, and he's usually able to do a hell of a lot with it now. C's might be checking it. There's no one to really trade for Zero at this angle. It's only Bondic, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't need anyone to trade. He just gets them both himself, and that's got to be game over, surely. Zero just wrecking the last 2 NaVi players trying to push out. There's less than 3K for most of NaVi. They're going to force something in here. It's not going to be pretty, and it's sure as hell not going to be easy.
They've shown nothing that makes me feel as though he's going to actually pull this one off. Like, NaVi as a whole, you know what I mean? Like, simple. Okay, he's had some individual moments that have kind of equated to them picking up maybe a round. But where's everyone else? Where's the NaVi that we want to be seeing? These guys have been absolutely shambolic. And, well, I don't know. This is a little bit upsetting to see if you're a NaVi fan, but it's great for the underdog fans out there that love to see a bit of an upset. HellRaisers have been on the slow grind, and every other team in the Pro League side going, guys, we still have a chance. NaVi are just tearing away with it. Everything's getting a bit closer now. Everything's becoming a bit more possible. But NaVi have something to work with in the form of mollies here. They still got 1 on Edward, 1 on Simple, so they can do something in this sort of position. But I actually like this from Angel. It's a really annoying spot to play against, and you need support from Long. So I can imagine whoever, it's going to be Deadfox probably watching Long. And this is the nice crossfire you can set up. You're completely dependent on each other, and this is something that comes in to toe with when you play A, which is quite surprising when NaVi switched up to Guardian being with Edward here rather than it being, or Simple's would be his new position if he played it. So see how this crossfire piece works, because it's completely dependent on each other having the angles.
This also depends on Angel. I mean, where Angel's standing now, it's not optimal to receive pushes from Long. It's more towards middle, so he might maybe jump on this back down to the slope, or maybe try and get back to the armored car if he has enough warning. But yeah, Deadfox can watch this, see some footsteps. Now that should be Angel just getting set up for this, release moving. No, Simple's going to fall down to start with Molotov to follow up, and the crossfire, it's there, Lauren. It is there in all of its glory. And now Edward has to push through. There's a Molotov on the bomb. And now Cease has to try and push in towards it, and that's going to be it. HellRaisers shut the door right in NaVi's face. 2 games running, we've seen absolutely nothing of value coming from NaVi in rounds that they need to win. It's been a very lackluster performance, and the HellRaisers, they are going to profit big time from this slump.
Yeah, hugely so. And you can't massively take it away from HellRaisers either. Sure, there's a lot of NaVi doing things wrong, essentially, not playing to NaVi standards. But HellRaisers as well played that very, very nicely. Again, individuals stood out to us that we already highlighted before. I don't need to harp on about those.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, it wasn't just, okay, NaVi just completely threw away the game. No, HellRaisers took the opportunities that they were given and actually made it work for themselves. So taking nothing away from them, great victory for them to get under their belt.
And that's huge for HellRaisers. If they want to avoid any sort of threat of being relegated or having to even worry about that kind of stuff, they're definitely on the right track here. All right, Lauren, that's enough from us, I think. Back over to the desk here as well. And let's see if we can glean something out of here. Maybe even some silver linings for NaVi, if possible.
Good luck.
Well, yeah, thank you. I appreciate the sentiments there, because it could very well be difficult. I've got myself, Henry G, and Chad to talk through this one. And boys, it's continuing to happen, and by no means does this look like NaVi, you know, there is some silver linings like they're saying that we should search for. A 16-5 result on Cobblestone, 16-3 on Train. I don't even know what's happened here.
What is going on tonight, Alex?
I mean, is HellRaisers playing very good CS, Chad?
God, I'll let you go to that one first. That's an interesting question.
Are they playing good CS?
He wasn't happy about it when we were watching.
The dream is dead.
Okay.
I was so behind NaVi. What's happening? I know you're talking about HellRaisers right now, but NaVi is the big story, right?
Of course they are.
We can sit here and we can go, this team has just grabbed one of the most talented up-and-coming players in the world, a superstar, and they suck.
Yes, it does feel that way.
Tonight they suck.
Well, no, not just tonight, Henry.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Let me read.
I'm trying to find something.
Let me read out the results. Like I did this before. HellRaisers 16-7, Fnatic 16-6, Fnatic 16-3, Virtus Pro 16-3. These are losses versus teams that they would previously beat convincingly.
So let's think about this, right? We saw them go to Starladder with the same roles, with Zeus being out of the lineup, right? And it wasn't great. It was bad. And we thought, okay, they're going to recalibrate themselves and kind of adjust the roles and get Simple to line up properly. That's happened, and I think it's still happening, right? That Chad, we were watching that game and kind of like saying, okay, the roles don't look right here. Doesn't look like Simple's comfortable. It doesn't look like he's playing to his play style. Seems like he's kind of locked down to certain positions. He's not having got the freedom we know he's so good at. So for me, I think they're still kind of messing with the recipe a little bit. They're trying to work out how they're going forward, but still, no one turns up tonight. In terms of the individual power we know NaVi possesses, no one's firing at all tonight. You can see just looking at the stats themselves, like you got 3 players on like 10 frags, 4 of them. And like no one's stepping up for them. No one's having a good game. Every round they're winning, they're getting completely reset after. They're losing all their anti-ecos. It's just a complete horror show for them.
Chad, I saw you post a tweet saying Simple looks uncomfortable on B. I'd rather see him at A. What was the kind of the mindset behind that?
I think, you know, if you're going to run the 2-op setup, which first of all, I don't think you should be running off the bat. Henry and I had a bit of an in-depth discussion about that. 2-ops doesn't seem very viable straight away. On most maps, I'd say. Like you want to be able to play 4 rifles and 1 AWP. They're playing 2 AWPs off the bat. That's their go-to, right? If you're going to have Simple, he's the guy who's going to go over-aggressive at platform at B, right? And he's going to take those peaks. He wants to take those jewels. But that's a hard pick to make, you know? There's a lot of angles to check and stuff. You may as well let him have a little bit of freedom and go towards A. He can choose if he wants to go A long, if he wants to go danger, if he wants to go top or mid. He can pick more places. At the moment, he's been stuck in one zone, and he doesn't look comfortable there. If you put Guardian there, he's going to sit behind the statue. He's going to sit in the chicken coop. He's going to sometimes go to platform. Sure. I feel like the AWPers will be better in different positions. But at the same time, when Simple was in Liquid, he knew that he wasn't, you know, the star AWPer.
Sure.
He took the secondary AWPer role. So he picked it up when he felt he needed to. Here it looks like he's picking it up out of necessity.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, right? He's a secondary AWPer, but it seems like he's taking that role a little bit too literally. It's every single round. It seems to be coming out. Every opportunity he's getting, they're on the double AWP. For me, like maps like Dust 2 and Cash is absolutely fine. Cobble, I'm not so convinced on. I feel like it's one of those maps, as soon as the terrorist team know that you've got that double AWP set up, and it's quite apparent when you're playing against NaVi, set executions and set pieces with the wall of smoke and stuff like that, that makes those tactics extremely viable at that moment. As soon as you can do a default and push Simple back from the initial aggression, you're dropping all the smokes and Molotovs on the site. There's only a few positions he can actually be in to be effective with the AWP. If he misses that first shot, the bomb site's open, then Guardians have to retake from A with an AWP itself. Once the smoke's down towards Connector, that's round over at that point. That's why the double AWP setup, sure, it's definitely viable on Cobble, but running it every single round, that's when you have a bit of a problem going forward.
And they did, and an awful problem. NaVi struggling to make anything happen here. And now, you know what, Chad, you jokingly said HellRaisers could still make it to LAN finals if, for some reason, they continue this form and the teams seem to be in a similar rut than NaVi. And let's remind ourselves, the next game's versus Envy. Envy have been up and down as of late. Yes, they seem to be on a bit of a rise. Kenny, especially, seems to be back to the good old Kenny of old, or at least on his way. So, but following that, you've got Mouse Sports, FaZe, and NIP. I think that's going to be a big road should HellRaisers want to complete it.
They did a boot camp.
A little boot camp.
They had that really fun one in America, which wasn't even a boot camp, you know?
I have a feeling, it might not have been displayed, but when that press and tab, you could see the coach, Jonta, was in there for HellRaisers, but I couldn't see Starix in there.
I know Starix was there.
He's removing himself from the team in terms of like not going to be such a crutch for them. Obviously, he's still going to be the analysis and finding all the strats. I think he's still going to every event with them. We interviewed him, and he said he was. So it's weird for him not to be there present at all.
I did see him on the scoreboard. He was there at one point.
He was there?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe he was just hidden. But because when it came up, I was like, this looks a bit weird.
Maybe he left after map 1. Saw trainer was like, screw that.
What did they get?
I'm out.
They haven't got double digits in the last 2 days in their matches.
No, they haven't. They got double digits. The only last time we saw double digits from them was when they beat Virtus Pro on train.
Okay. Just the thing
even then, yeah.
Henry touched on this, but something you need to do when you get run down on a bomb site, right, and you're holding places as CT, you need to be able to make 1 kill, right? Just at least 1 kill. And then that opens up the second kill because you've just found the gap in how they're taking the site. NaVi's not doing that. They're losing the first player and then having to recover. And that's super difficult.
Super both difficult, but also very, very difficult for us to understand and comprehend how you can be a team that is in, almost a guarantee in offline semi-finals to a team that can't seem to get 10 rounds versus HellRaisers, or flip side.
Did they win both pistols in that game as well and get reset both times, or was it the other way around?
Everybody who won the pistol got reset.
Okay.
So it went back and forth a couple of times.
Yeah, the thing is with NaVi as well, their Cbble has always been a little bit shaky. It's always a strong map overall in terms of results, but their CT side especially, their Fame's only getting 5 rounds here. So when I was watching the game, I thought, Jan, it's going to be fine. Once they get the 5 rounds, they'll be absolutely fine. They got 4, and I thought, it's still going to be fine. I think they'll recover. But still, you can see that it's just very lackluster CS overall. It's not the NaVi we're used to seeing from a few months ago.
And just before we do head to a break, I do feel like a moment has to be given to appreciate HellRaisers.
Of course.
I think that, yes, NaVi are in a slump, but this is still the NaVi, or at least 4 of them that have been making such a huge impact on CSGO. So just a quick kind of highlight of what's been going so right for HellRaisers. Everyone seems to be on form. Angel like yesterday, Sticko today.
Results going in their favor as well.
Yeah.
The Pro League as well. So Flipside, NaVi, Penta, 5 maps in a row. Are they still in contention? They could make the final.
That's what we've been saying. They have to be. I just read it out. I'll do it again. Hang on.
Beat everybody.
That's kind of nuts. So judging by this kind of form, very convincing games. It's not like they're getting 16-14s, 16-7, 16-7, 16-3, 16-7, 16-5. They're battering people right now.
Okay.
But the addition of Deadfox seems actually really cool.
Realistically, could they be envious?
They could 1-1 that series.
They could 1-1 realistic.
Mouse Sports, they could get a 2-0 depending on form, wouldn't you say?
I would probably.
You're going 1-1 all the series.
Like best case, I think they'd 1-1. I don't see them touring any of those teams.
It's one of those grudge matches, right? Because Oscar's obviously left them for Mouse Sports. So it's going to be a weird game to watch. But Oscar, he's had some poor form of Gfinity. Looks shocking, to be honest. Him going up against his old teammates, maybe they'll have the advantage. They'll be a little bit nervous, It could be exciting.
That game's coming up on the 10th of October. So pencil it in. The grudge match.
Can we make that the hot match, Alex?
Oh, it will be the hot match.
Can we make sure that happens?
Do you know which company brings you the hot match?
I think you're going to tell me.
Yeah, it's called The Score Esports, and they, of course, highlight you the hot match of the week. You can find that on their application, available on your smartphone. You can even get it on the website as well. But it's not just CS. You've got your Dota, your League of Legends. But if you are a CS nut, they've got loads of good stuff there, and for special articles to keep you in the loop when we're not here on your screens doing so for you. Right, we're going to take a break. And when we do come back, we'll be talking about the Danes. It's going to be a Dignitas Astralis slugfest over 2 maps. I'm looking forward to seeing exactly which one will be the prevalent Great Dane. We're finding out after our break.